now they feel like they can tell the whole world exactly how they feel, regardless of who they are. But, like, I tell my sons, like, if something's bothering you and you don't like it or whatever, like, speak up. Do not hold it in, because I know how it's affected me. So I'm trying to find that voice, but I think I've given them a bit too much of it.
So let me ask you this, LaShawna. So is your father still alive? Do you know?
Yes, he is, as far as I know of.
Have you ever thought about maybe reaching out to him, or it's not even in the forefront of your mind?
Nope. I want nothing to do with him.
Okay, and that's definitely a choice, and you have the right to that choice. All right, so we're going to talk about, both of these are young ladies here, are moms, and we're going to talk about next. Let's see. I'll start it before we even go to a song break. So let's talk about your children, LaShawna. Let's talk about your children. How many children do you have? Are they boys or girls? I know, but I want the audience to know.
I have 2 bouncing boys. And I use bouncing very loosely.
What's the age?
They are ages? 11 and 9.
Okay. So let's talk about, you're a mother and you're raising boys. So let's talk about their father for a moment. Are you raising these children as a single parent, or is their father active in their lives?
I am a single mother to the highest extent.
Okay, so so has the father ever been in your son's lives?
My older son, he was 1, and the baby has never seen him. Yeah.
Okay. So as a mom, as a super mom, like you said, to the highest extent, you're doing everything that you need to do for your boys. You're a single mom. You're not getting any assistance from their dad. How does that make you feel, that you are the only provider emotionally, financially, spiritually, and a parental figure? How does that make you feel, or do you feel anything about that? Tell me how you feel.
To be honest, it's kind of like a day-by-day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have some days where I'm just like, whatever, they're mine, it's going to get done. Like, I'm not going to sit around and mope about it. And then you have those days where you just feel like the world is like literally on your shoulders, your back, your head, both sides, chained to your ankle, where you just like, I just want to break. I just want to be able to be anything other than the word mother. Like, and it's not that, like, I don't want it to be taken as, I love being a mother. It's definitely taught me a lot of things about myself, and it's definitely shown me a lot of the strength that I didn't realize that I had. There's a lot of situations and a lot of situations and trials that the boys and I have overcome, and it's just brought us closer, and it's taught me things about myself that I didn't realize that, I had in me, or whatever the case may be. And it's also made, my faith stronger. But it's just sometimes, honestly, I can say for me, I can't speak for every single mom, but for me, it's just like, sometimes it would be nice to just be like, okay, I'm going to have this weekend to myself. I don't have to get up and fix anything. I don't have to get up and break up a fight. I don't have to get up and say, no, don't do that. I don't have to get up and drive someone here, drive someone there. I can just relax. And I get angry about it sometimes, and then sometimes I get sad. So like I say, it's a day-by-day kind of thing, like my emotions. I try not to become bitter, though. I never want to become bitter about the situation, because at the end of the day, like, they're going to be okay. That's me. That's what's embedded in me. That's what I've embedded in them. As long as there is breath in my body, my 2 are going to be okay. But it angers me that their other half does not feel that way.
Right.
I would not be able to personally get up knowing that I have, someone that I helped create. I don't know if they're eating. I don't know if they're have a place to sleep, if they're in a warm bed. That personally would make me lose my mind.
That's deep.
So it would just, you know what I mean? It makes me angry that you can sleep at night knowing that you have not seen your son for 10 years. Like, that would drive me absolutely insane.
That would drive me insane,
I don't
too.
speak to exactly. Like, I'll go crazy if I don't speak to my son after school. Right. So I couldn't imagine not seeing him for 10 years, or let alone with my baby boy, never seeing him.
So, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep, because like you said, to know that you have a child out there that you're not caring for, that you're not there, that you haven't even laid eyes on, you haven't heard their voice, you don't know what's going on in school, you don't know what's going on in their lives. Are they sick? Are they healthy? Are they alive? Even something as basic as, are they alive? For you to go on with your day and not in your life and not even care to check on that. I totally get that. And I don't understand how parents do that, because some mothers do it too. And I just don't understand that. So when you had your sons, did he make a promise that he would be there, or was it too much for him to handle, or he just, vamonos, he just was gone?
I mean, in the beginning, it was hard because, I was young. I was super duper young. My sons and I our birthdays are 12 days apart. So I had my oldest 12 days after I turned 16. And I had my youngest 12 days before I turned 18. So, I was really, really young. In the beginning, it was more or less it was an anger towards me that I was too young to really understand what the problem.
Hello? I think the devil's trying to get into, somebody doesn't want you to hear. Somebody doesn't want. The devil's trying to block this call, but go ahead. LaShawn, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you went out for a little bit. You were saying that you had them young, and you were really young, just trying to deal with it. So I guess the father was young as well.
Yes,
but you didn't have the option.
Years older than me.
Right, but you didn't have the option to leave, and
no.
Sometimes dads have the option to leave. Yeah,
and it was more in the beginning. It was more like an anger towards me for actually, making the decision to not, do the abortion and, all those kind of things. Right. But
because God makes a way. God definitely makes a way. And I always tell all single parents, you're never a single parent as long as you have God there. And God is that other parent. He will provide. He will make sure that you're okay. He will stretch that money, stretch that food. They will have shelter and clothing. God is that other parent. So Valencia, Valencia.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about you, my dear. Let's talk about. So, do you have any children?
I have one. He's 13.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Are you a single parent? Is his father in his life?
All day, every day. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I signed up for it.
What are you?
I'm a single parent.
Okay.
I'm a single parent to a 13 beautiful child where the father is not there. Adios, amigos. When he found out, deuces, gone.
So when he found out you were pregnant, we're talking about black boys here. And that's why it hurts me, because it's so important, and they need their dads. Of course, they need their moms too, but it's something about black boys that a mother cannot give. So what do you mean, Valencia, that as soon as he found out you were pregnant, he left? Talk some more about that.
The thing was that I talked to him. When I found out, I wanted to, we needed to talk. That was the first conversation. We need to talk. And every time I would get off work, okay, well, I'm going to come through, we're going to talk. That talk never happened.
You know, after that, I think like 7 months into my pregnancy, he went and got married
to someone else.
Had a daughter. Yes. Yes.
So okay, so let's talk about that. Let's pause for a minute. So while you were pregnant, 7 months after, or 7 months after your son was born, he got married.
No, 7 months. 7 months, like into my pregnancy, when I kept discussing with him, when I found out I was first pregnant, let me just make it very clear. When I found out I was first pregnant, I was in a big denial situation. So I was like, not me, because I already talked to God, and I was like, you're not having no kids, you on your own. But he still got the power. I ended up pregnant. I wanted to be that woman because I didn't lay down and do this alone. So when I expressed to him, you know, I took a test, I'm pregnant, he was like, okay, we want to talk about it, you know, and I'll be over. You know, every time, I was like, you want me to meet you? No, I'll be through there. I'm at work. I'm this and I'm that. And it just never happened. It never happened. No call, no write, no letter, no email, no signal smoke, no nothing.
Wow. So, I mean, I can kind of imagine how that made you feel. But so, what did you think? You're pregnant with this baby. You're about to bring life into the world. You're trying to get in touch with his father. He keeps putting you off, and then later on, you find out that he married someone else. Like, what do you do as a pregnant woman when you find this out? When you know that you're carrying a child? Did you still think at that point he might be there later, or did you know at that point that you would have to do this alone?
No, I didn't know. I didn't think at all that I would have to do it alone. I just was like, okay, maybe he's in shock, because I was in shock. I was 3.5 months, didn't even know. So when I found out, I was shocked myself. I continued to be humble, still try to reach out to him. I started getting a voicemail. Then he called me at 4.5 months, and he told me that he wanted me to have an abortion. And I said no.
And what did he say at that point?
And he was like, well, I'll call you back. And it's 13 years.
Are you serious? So
I'm serious. He passed away when Lorenzo turned 3 years old.
Wow.
And when I told him I didn't want to get an abortion, it was too late. You know, when we had the discussion to talk about it, you know, you didn't come around. And he told me he'd call me back, and that's when I found out through one of his family members. He went and got married, and from there, I was on my own. Gone.
And so now you're saying he passed away?
He passed away when Lorenzo turned 3 years old, because I kept in touch with his cousin from time to time, and he told me that he had passed away, you know, for some circumstances and things that he shouldn't have been doing, that he was doing, and that was that. He's not on the birth certificate. He has never seen his son. I called him from the hospital. I had a C-section. I called him from the hospital, told him what room number, the hospital, everything. No show.
Wow, that's deep.
And that's when I realized that I'm going to be a single mom.
Wow. So at that point, I'm sure that was trying. You're a mother for the first time. You know, you're bringing this beautiful baby boy into the world. And at that point, you knew that it was going to be, like you just said, it's hard. So tell me some of the challenges. How, and I'm sure, and I know, divorced single mom, I totally get it. I understand. Trust me and believe me. I understand when sometimes a lot of it falls on you. It's difficult. It's difficult for a single father, a single mother, even if you have the child, the father in the child's life, and they're, part-time, because the person who houses the child and who the child lives with is really the sole provider. So let me ask you, so when you knew that you were going to do it on your own and you said it's hard, Can you let the